Hi everyone, I'm Brian Easterday and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So today's video, we're going to be doing Moon in Pisces. So we're at the last one now. We've done Moon through all the signs. So if you haven't seen any of the previous ones, be sure to go back and check those out as well. And before I get into it, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because I don't want you to miss out on any content that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Moon in Pisces. This is a very interesting place for the moon to go, for sure, to say the least. Pisces is a sign that can just have so many different ranges of expressions because it's symbolized by two fish. So you could have a fish swimming this way and a fish swimming that way, or one swimming up and one swimming down. They're going different directions. So there can be a lot of duality in Pisces people, where they can appear to have things that are like very contradictory. So, I'll just use myself as an example. I happen to be a Pisces Lagna in the Revati Nakshatra. Like one of the things I'll see is that like in my life, I went from when I was a young man being in the infantry in the Marine Corps, just being a very blunt, brutal, straightforward, like very harsh, angry person, to obviously now being a person who's a little bit different than that, right? You could say that. Or even just in the way I'll keep my hair, right? Like I have short hair and also long hair. It seems, how can you have both? Well, you can. It seems like a contradiction, but it's not necessarily a contradiction. So that type of energy you'll see with Pisces a lot, where something may seem like a contradiction, but for them it's totally not at all. It just appears that way from the outside because it's a sign that is a very kind of like mystical, secretive, hidden type of sign. Like if you think about the deep ocean, like you might be able to see like a few feet down in the water, but when you really get down there, it's dark. There gets to a point that like light doesn't even penetrate. So there's a lot of, for as much as why one side can be seen on the surface, there's always going to be a lot of hidden depth that nobody ever sees. And this is something that can be a struggle for Pisces people, or people with the moon in Pisces, is them feeling like they don't really have anyone to relate to in the world. Like that when they're trying to explain something of like, hey, I feel this way about something, other people are like, oh yeah, I understand, but they like they really don't like get it the way you get it. That you're just seeing something on a different level than they are. That's the kind of depth that Pisces deals with. So many times they feel like they have to dumb themselves down around other people. They'll tend to be extremely intelligent people because they're ruled by Jupiter, and it's the internal expression of Jupiter. So they take that wisdom, that knowledge, that learning, and they go inward with it. They're the daydreamers, the visionaries. They love being lost in imagination or in their daydreams, or even just actual dreams is something that people with moon in Pisces, though it may have very, very intense, very vivid dreams that can feel very real. Not all the time, but sometimes, depending on where it is in the chart. And as well as the nakshatra. Pisces is a sign that is all about, like I said, wisdom, because it's ruled by Jupiter, but it's also the last sign in the zodiac. So if we're thinking about the zodiac being kind of the progression or the evolution of consciousness as the soul goes through different stages, Pisces is the sign where it's had all the other experiences. Now it's focused on like, okay, what's the essence of life? What is really there? How do I understand all sides of things? So this is where the duality of Pisces comes in, being able to understand all sides of things. It's a sign of a lot of passion. So when moon comes here, because it's our mind and emotions, you get people who are very passionate, people who they can be very creative, although they may have to figure out how to hone in that creativity, right? Because the Pisces, for as much creativity and imagination as like a Pisces disposition can give you, it can also kind of make you go all over the place. So sometimes you have to learn how to like focus in, get grounded. Like you think in a chart, if Pisces is a water element, what's across from it? It's going to be an earth element, right? It's going to be Virgo. So to balance out some of that wateriness, or if you're feeling very scattered as a moon and Pisces person, use some of that, lean into the Virgo energy. get grounded, get down to earth, get organized, get focused. Okay, I have this passion, I have this creativity, it's just going to burst out of me. How can I actually make that real? How can I take it from the imagination and bring it to life? This is one of the karmic lessons for people with like Pisces dispositions, especially Moon in Pisces, is being able to be the bridge between the other world, the imagination, and this world, to bring that creativity into it, to give it birth, to give it life. Another thing with the Moon in Pisces too is to be aware of is escapism, because our strengths can be our weaknesses and our weaknesses are strengths. Wanting to tap into source and other realms and spirituality and that which is beyond just this physical world is a great thing. But it can be just as much of an escape as people who try to escape from the spiritual through the material realm. It can go both ways. You have to have balance in both. You have to realize that there's something beyond just this physical realm. We're an Atma. We're something that is so infinite. But at the same time, we're also in this physical experience, and that this physical experience is just as spiritual as that is. There's no less education to be had here than there is there. In fact, we incarnate here for the reason of being able to learn and expand. So don't try to just get lost in distracting yourself in spirituality or ritual or your daydreams or your imagination. It's great to have those things, but make them practical. Be able to bring them to life. Take action on them. Don't just let them be something in your head. And don't just try to use spirituality and ritual as escapism, because it's just like any other drug that you're using at the same point. And this is something Moon and Pisces has to watch for too, is a lot of drug use, alcohol use, those type of things. You can definitely see some of those things out because of this wanting to just escape. And that is a lower expression of it, especially like you'll really see this in like Purva Bhadrapada and Uttara Bhadrapada, because they're nakshatras that are the deities that rule them are some of the Rudras, so they deal with kind of a destructive type of nature and force anyway. So you can see some of those tendencies to do those things come in because of that, because that's part of the learning process, is through destroying yourself through substances and stuff. You learn maybe the value of life. No, actually, these substances destroyed my life, so now I actually have to learn how to value it. Now I learn how to deal with my emotions and how to truly find my connection with source and those type of things, Revati, not so much. It's more of a focused type of nakshatra, whereas Purva, the Bhadrapadas, they are a little bit more dualistic. They both actually have a connotation of being associated with the two-faced man. Purva Bhadrapada more so traditionally, but that connotation can also show up in Uttara Bhadrapada of having that very dualistic type of thing. So this is where you see like the two fish of Pisces, that really coming in. So make sure that while it's so important to have that connection to the outside and to do ritual and do things like that, you're not using them as a way of escaping your life because you don't like your life, or you're not using drugs or alcohol or something like that to escape, this reality because you're not happy with it. Use your creativity, use your imagination, use that connection to source to be a co-creator with it, to help improve this reality, to bring all of that wisdom in. And yeah, people might not get all of it. I will never be able to share all of the information I have in videos, any of the books I write. I'll only ever be able to get out a fraction of it. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't put it out. So this is something that, like Moon and Pisces, you have to realize is just because other people may not always see the totality of your depth, that doesn't mean they still don't see you. It's just that they may not be ready for that level of realization yet. Otherwise, they would have had those dispositions in their chart. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this doesn't mean that people with Moon and Pisces are somehow more spiritually mature or aware than other people. They could be just as lost and confused as others. But in regards to the soul, the soul's a little bit more mature here. It's a soul that's going to have an inclination more towards wanting to really find the truth of things. And this can be as well, whether it's a moon in Pisces, a Pisces logna, or like the sun in Pisces. Any of those would really apply with this. This statement of being that kind, for lack of a better term, that old soul. You can see that here. That doesn't mean there's not lessons to work on, or there isn't things or you somehow know so much more than other people. That's not inherent. But the ability to experience and learn and gain wisdom from those things, you will have a better disposition towards those, because that's just kind of the nature of who you are as a person. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys, and this series as well. So I hope you found it valuable. If you did, please do me a favor, hit the like button, and if you feel so called to do so, comment, share it around. That always helps the video perform. That way this information can get out to other people who might also find it useful. If you need to contact me to inquire about consultations, courses, ask me questions, anything like that, you can click the link in the description below. That goes to my link tree, and that is a one-stop shop for all my different social media services, website, email, all that stuff. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a great day.